This is Renee Romeo. Today you're joining me in my sewing room as I get ready to make a last-minute Halloween costume. I know, it's totally unlike me. Usually I'm a giant planner about these things, but this one got away from me this year. Now I'd like to show up with something that looks a little bit more professional than just throwing something together off a rack and throwing it on and showing up. So I've gone ahead and purchased a few items, and I've pulled a bunch of things out of my closet. So I'm going to show you how I pull this look together, and I'm being kind of a Victorian ghost. That's the look that I'm going for. So join me and see if I can pull this off. So one of the benefits of waiting until the very last minute is that all the stores have everything deeply discounted. So I got this tulle netting cape for $20. Awesome. Awesome purchase. But look at it. It's way too long. It's not really billowy and poofy like I'd like it to be. So I'm going to take care of that really quick. And then out of my closet, I've pulled some long white gloves. I have some off-white tights. Now, you know, if you're looking for a ghost costume, you know, most things are white, but I don't have everything that's exactly perfect. But I do have this great white dress, and I actually purchased this for Halloween. And this is something that I grabbed off of a sale rack for $10 a few years ago, and I'm always looking for items like this that could maybe be several different outfits or costumes in one, and that's exactly what I'm using this for today. So I'll wear this underneath the cape, and then I have some just scrap piece of fabric, and so all I'm going to do here is, this is actually left over from last year's costume. Sully, be careful. And I'm just going to go ahead and tie this around the neck, but I'd like it to be a little bit more tattered, so I'm just going to work on this a little bit with my scissors and my fingers and try to really make it unravel. And then from there, you know, Victorian ghosts have little pointy shoes, and so my pointy shoes happen to be a light gold color, and they're just going to peek out from the bottom. I want everything to kind of blend, and not perfect, but perfect enough. And then I purchased just a 1/4 yard of this really stiff netting, and I'm going to put this in little chunks in my hair so that I can actually hold this hood up a little higher and make it really billowy. So let's go see what I can do with this in a short amount of time. Now I'm going to take care of this scrap fabric first. So I have a pair of pinking shears, and the pinking shears are just the ones with the little zigzag blades, and this is all you're going to use on this, and really get this uneven looking as much as possible. So I'm lining up each and every little zigzag so that I get a nice even cut out of it, and I'll show you what it looks like up close. So look at this edge. This is exactly what I'm going for, and the way that I'm doing this is, so this is a piece of satin. If you have something like a linen or some, you know, really woven fabric that you can kind of pull all the threads away from, that would be even better, but I don't have that. So I'm just going to run my nail along the surface here and really get this to kind of curl and look really uneven. Okay, animals are so curious, and Sully is among the most curious I've ever known, so he loves to help. I don't know if he's helping, but anyway, if you can see here, I'm going really, really fast. This does not, careful. I know you want to help, but this is not helping. Okay, so really, really quick. I'm in a time crunch, Sully. Now here's something even easier, just like curling ribbon. Look at that. This is doing a great job of curling up that edge. So you kind of see, this is the direction I'm going in, but look at how great this is looking. So I've actually gone in and cut this into 3 sections so that I can get this really, you know, kind of billowy look out of this. Now I have my netting set up on my mannequin, and what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to cut it because I don't want to take any of the length off. I like it as billowy as possible. I like to keep as much netting on there as possible. So I have it on a mannequin, and you can hang this on a hanger, on a door, whatever height you are. Find that height and make sure that you're doing everything to that height, because all I'm going to do is I'm starting with the layer that's underneath the most. So it's 4 layers, and this is the first one. And all I'm going to do here is just pull it up so that the bottom of it lays right on the floor. And I'm going to take a low temperature glue gun. Now do not use a high temperature glue gun for this because you're going to burn your fingers and you're going to make a mess of things. So this is low temperature, and I'm just putting a little dab of glue onto the netting itself, and I'm just going to hold it in place until it creates a nice bond it's not hot, it's just slightly warm, so you can put your finger on it and get it to stick. And so that's stuck. So it's ready to go. And so you'll see this first layer here is going to be glued just like this all across the bottom. So that way the bottom of the netting hits the floor and then it hits up here and it's just going to be nice and billowy looking. So treat your first layer exactly like this. So layer number 1 is done. Layer number 2 is going to come up a little higher than this. So you're going to do this all in layers. So you want 4 of these. So your first layer is here, second, third, fourth. And this is the way that I'm going to go. Same kind of thing. So you're just going to go to the floor and you're going to pull this nice and tight. And this is exactly where your first dot of glue goes. So my thoughts at this point are that the bottom is looking a little thin. So I'd like to make a little bit more poof at the bottom. And I'm going to do this on the 3rd layer. And I'm just going to take this and kind of fold it over in the opposite direction and make a nice little roll at the bottom so that it's billowy when the other layer falls over the top of it. So again, look, this is not a neat thing. I'm going quickly. It's not going to matter because a ghost isn't perfect anyway. So you kind of want it to be messy as possible. So here's layer number 4, and I was surprised. This is a 5-layer cape. So it's a great little bonus for me to have an extra layer to work with. So again, I'm lining up the bottom and I'm just putting a piece of glue here, holding it in place. And it's really looking great. I think it's going to turn out really nice. And these spots are a little bit white, but once I get the dress underneath this, you won't see them at all. So on this 5th and final layer, what I'm doing here is I'm switching directions of the way that I fold the tulle. So I have the bottom lined up with the floor, and I've just gone ahead and just grabbed this so that when the extra layer of fabric can fall over the top, it'll look more like a cape instead of folding it up the way that I did with the layers underneath it. So just go ahead and put some glue in, and that's going to lay really nicely. So this is looking really billowy, pretty much what I had envisioned. And so I'm thinking at this point that I'd like to make a couple of holes in the tulle so that I can have access to my hands and be able to eat and do things like that at the party. So what I'm doing, I've got my fiskers here, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of feel around where it might be a good spot to actually make a slit. And I'm just going to slip directly through the netting. It's not going to be neat, it's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be very, very useful. So that's comfortable for me, and then I'll do the other side. So now that the outfit is done, I need to work on my hair. And so I've just got a comb here, and I'm just going to tease it slightly. You know, it needs to be messy, and I love my hairspray, so hopefully you can kind of see which hairspray I use. This is a great product. Get it. It will really help you out. Any style you need, it'll hold it. So I tease it, I spray it a little bit, and then I have like 10 of these little clippies. And so the little clippies are going to do all the work for me today. This is going to be just a real messy looking hairdo. It's going to be really fast and easy because I need to get out of here and get to the party. So anything that's going to make that nice and quick. Most of my hair isn't going to be seen though, so remember I have that hood that I'm just going to go ahead and put over the top of this hair, but I do want it to hold up and be nice and billowy. So in order to do that, I tease it a little bit, I spray it a little bit, and then I clip it. And then I'm going to put those little pieces of netting in here and there just to make it extra billowy. I cut that netting down into 12-inch by 6-inch pieces approximately, and I've inserted a bobby pin through the very center of it, so it's kind of sticking out like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and insert these here and there in my hair so that it winds up looking something like this. Now, the great thing about this is that when the hood goes over the top of it, it's really going to make it huge and billowy, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Now the best part of this netting is that it's going to hide every single clip that you have in your hair. So no one's going to be able to tell how you put your hair up like this at all. So most of you probably have hair like this, hard to curl. But look what I'm doing here. So I'm just taking this little tooth comb and I'm teasing it, and I'm using the hairspray. And I don't want this to be a curl because Ghosts don't have things perfect, and I just wanted it to be billowy. So this is going to hold in place all night, just like this. It looks messy and it looks perfect for a ghost. So I'm starting to put the makeup on, and what I'm going for here is just a light, airy look. We'll see how creepy I can get it, but I'm using my regular foundation brush that I use on a daily basis, and then I have Halloween paint. So this is makeup for your face, and it's an oil-based makeup, and so that's why I kind of like to keep my regular makeup on as underneath it is a foundation. So I'm just going to go ahead and start layering this in. Now I want this to be light and airy. I don't want it to look like it's been painted on. And I think what I'm going to wind up doing here is taking some regular powder, just white plain cornstarch powder, or even cornstarch you could use, and going ahead and putting that over the top of it once I'm done, just to kind of set things in place. Now once you're happy with your foundation, you can go ahead and grab the same type of makeup for Halloween, and it's in black, and I'm using, again, a regular brush that I use on a daily basis, and I'm just going to go ahead and start filling in underneath my eyes. And then I'll do the same thing underneath my cheekbones, and you want to get right underneath your nose, and let's just put a little bit on the chin too. And then the hairline too, I think I'm just going to put a little bit up on the hairline just to get it all to blend. So I'm setting everything with powder, and I think my skin looks pretty hideous. So the goal has been met. I have a tube of blood red lipstick, and it's a little bright, but if you stick with me, you'll see where I'm going with this. So then I have kind of like a skin color. And I'm blending it with the same brush I used on my face. So now I'm using black eyeliner, and I'm just hitting it in spots. Kind of want it to be where you're not sure where your lips start and stop. I think it makes it look more successful. So I'm just going to finish up with the eyes, and I have some black eyeshadow, and that's all I'm going to use at this point, is just put some black eyeshadow up on the tops just to try to blend all this stuff in together. And I'll use the same thing on the bottom of the eye. And blend it straight down into that eye socket. Now blending does take a little bit of time, so that's why I was rushing through the outfit, because I really figured I'd need a little bit of extra time to get the eye makeup right. Now I'm filling in my eyebrows because I feel like the rest of my face is just a little overdone, and the eyebrows need to pop just a little bit more. So I'm just going to fill these in a little bit and try to balance everything out. Okay, and so the last thing I need to do is fill in right above the black with some highlighter. So there you have it. There's the makeup. I'm out of time. I need to get dressed, and I'll show you what I look like. Well, it's all finished. Now, it took about an hour and a half start to finish. And please do this for yourself. I'm in a hurry, I need to get to the party, but really it didn't take very long, and it was so simple. Everything, I pretty much bought everything. So you could do the same thing if you're in a hurry and you want a great outfit to show up at a party with. So this is Renee Romeo. Until next time, happy Halloween.